Welcome back to the Marvel Movie Minute, a daily podcast where we disassemble a film from the Marvel Cinematic Universe into 1-minute segments and then examine it in obsessive and occasionally hilarious detail. I'm Kyle Olson from the Swashbuckling Ladies Debate Society podcast.
Hey, and I'm Rob Cabasco. And Kyle.
Yes, sir.
You know, we all drive cars. We're vehicles of some kind, right? Trucks. True. I still have the first new car I ever bought, which was a truck. It's over 20 years old. My daughter loves it. For anybody who grew up or paid attention to cars in the 1980s, a funny thing happened here. And when I say here, I mean in the United States. You know, for a lot of people who are familiar with Cadillac as a premium luxury vehicle brand from General Motors. Basically, in the late 1980s, there was this wave of all of the Asian car makers said, hey, you know, we got to get in on this luxury brand market. And so in late 1980s, 1989, two of them, Toyota had spun off their luxury vehicle company called Lexus. And the same year, Nissan spun theirs off called Infiniti. And as recent as 2015, Hyundai has come out with their version called Genesis. So they all have these luxury specific brands. But it all began in 1986 when a car company called Honda spun off Acura as their luxury vehicle brand. Now, why would I bring this up? Well, it is one of the few things that we are going to get to talk about in this minute.
That's right. Because here we are at minute 124 of Iron Man 2 2010, the penultimate episode. And we finally are coming to the end of the credits. And we're actually going to get some footage, which we haven't had in a number of minutes. So
a couple things happening during the credits.
Yep. We're down to the very end at what they call the graveyard. That's where the logos come up. And
we heard Highway to Hell, I know.
Yep.
What was the song that we mentioned this earlier? The Tomorrow Today.
Tomorrow is Today. Way. Yeah.
Yes.
Make way for Tomorrow Today. That also played during the credits. You got to hear.
Yep.
The only time you actually get to hear the whole song in the movie is here during the end credits.
And then it does make, as the credits sort of wrap up, it makes a transition to sort of like one of those musical montages, a medley of the score from John Debney.
That's right.
Really nice. I mean, very action-oriented, you know, powerful, you know, almost like a high-energy video game. I mean, and it's epic. It has that cinematic, epic sound to it, which is really great.
Yeah.
And then as we close out near towards the end of the credits, we did make a note of this when we talked about his appearance in the movie. There is a under the Columbia Records annotation in the credits. There is a in memory of Adam Goldstein, the DJ who played appropriately in the sequence in Tony's Party. That unfortunately is no longer with us. Rest in peace.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a nice tribute to him at the end. And a sad situation, but it's nice that they put a little shout out to him at the end for doing that.
Absolutely. And then an image appears.
That's right. See, so this is so we had this in Iron Man that did it, but in the Incredible Hulk, the post-credit scene was tacked onto the end of the movie. It actually came before the credits, so it wasn't a thing. So now we're back to Iron Man 1 territory, where we actually have a little clip. But this time, this is a sort of a clip from a future movie, as opposed to the hat over the wall, like aspirational thing that they did at the end of Iron Man, where they had Nick Fury showing up. In this one, because this was not shot by Jon Favreau.
No.
What you're seeing here is actual footage that Sir Kenneth Branagh shot for Thor, and then they put here at the end of the movie. So everything you're seeing here is actually... So Jon Favreau's contributions are done. Like this little piece actually comes from Sir Kenneth Branagh. So obviously now we know we will not be talking about Thor in the future. That will be left to Matthew and to Andy and all their guests. So they will be handling it from there. But we get to talk about this little piece that actually comes from their movie. I would say, to clarify, it's not actually a clip from their movie, but basically this was shot intentionally for this purpose.
And how do we know this?
How do we know this? Oh, we heard it from the horse's mouth himself. That's right. Mr. Clark Gregg confirmed this as it was a theory going on there. Did we mention that we got to interview Clark Gregg? Have we talked about that on the show?
Actually, I got to tell you something. I think we have been very humble about this.
Yeah.
And yeah, for those of you who don't know, if you just go back a few minutes, there is a 2-part exclusive interview between us and Agent Coulson himself, Mr. Clark Gregg.
That's right. We asked about this particular scene.
And let me tell you, just in case you missed it, you need to go back and listen to it because it was enlightening, it was entertaining, it was awkward. I was humiliated.
Yeah. I mean, just for that, you need to go back and listen to it.
Absolutely.
Because unfortunately, Mr. Clark Gregg does not make an appearance in this particular minute. So the first 30 seconds are the credits wrapping up, and then all of a sudden we cut to the desert. Now, what we know is this is actually New Mexico, and we know it's New Mexico because it's on the license plate of the car. Well, I mean, and there's a car driving through the desert.
Oh, but it is, though.
And as we see the car, it is a 2010 Acura ZDX Model YB1. At the time, it was the estimated base price was $44,000.
This was the high end mini SUV or compact SUV, I guess you would say. So yeah, this was a big deal. And this began. Is this the first appearance of Acura being the official car company of Shield?
That's true, because here, this exact vehicle will be in Thor. So actually, we have sort of a quote-unquote character showing up in this movie that will continue on into Thor. So Agent Coulson will drive this car into the next movie. So, wow. I've got, statistics and nerdy stuff if people care about transmissions and wheelbase and lengths and curb weight, but...
Oh, do you?
I do. I have those. I know that it goes 0 to 60 in 6.7 seconds.
Wow. Now that sounds fast in 2010 stats, not in the age of the electric vehicle.
True. It can reach a top speed of 130 miles an hour. Yeah, right. And it has an EPA, a 16 or 22 protected fuel economy.
That's
Yeah.
It's better today.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
But obviously it works really well in the desert. Like, look how it's going on off-road. I mean,
Sure. And what's neat is if you actually, I would encourage anyone to Google this. Google Agent Coulson car, and there is a great article you'll get from carlifenation.com that specifically goes into all the specs and the appearances of the Acura vehicles, because it's not just in this post-credit scene. It's in Thor. It's in Captain America, the Avengers, and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is the official car of S.H.I.E.L.D. for quite some time.
That's right, until they say for this one, until they stop making it. So,
and there's that.
Yeah. They waited for about 3 years, and then the numbers sort of dropped off dramatically. So they're like, maybe we should move on to other ideas. So as it comes driving around, then we get to see a license plate, and the license plate is New Mexico, land of enchantment. We talked a little bit about that when they first made that joke before, when Agent Coulson was talking about going over to New Mexico to investigate the strange situation. And the license plate comes up right onto the camera, and it says HRE2Z1. And you know what the significance of that is?
Yeah, please tell me.
Nobody knows. There are a lot of fan theories, though. Like I went on to see if anybody had cracked this code, and a lot of people have put stuff in there, and nothing really works. They were breaking it down into like numerical code, like is like a lost thing, where like the R is actually 15, and like the figure it out. And like the one I thought was most fun is somebody said it was like, 8 are becoming 1, just like the Avengers are a group, and they're... Okay, sure.
No, I mean, no one's ever cracked this code of anything.
No, wow. It could just be like they just got... This is the license plate they had, and they found one that they could legally clear. And so it became this.
And it's interesting, if you're a license plate aficionado... This was obviously from the early 2010s, the official plate. Their plates changed quite a bit. It is not the current. That design is not the current New Mexico plate. The current plate has two. Rarely do states put two mottos on them. The current one is a black plate with yellow letters at the time that we are saying this, and it has Land of Enchantment and Chili Capital of the World.
Really?
Yeah,
it's the chili capital of the world,
and it has a little drawing of two chilies, because I mean, that's cool. It's good.
Well, I guess they couldn't say the home of Breaking Bad and have a little
no that
a little bag of blue Christmas.
Oh wow, we are nearing the end, everybody. It's all coming home.
I'm saying if the Department of Transportation in New Mexico needs a little revenue boost. Breaking Bad / Better Call Saul branded license plates. Huh?
No kidding. I mean, right? No
Telling you.
Yeah.
So, and as the license plate hits the camera, that unfortunately is where the minute ends.
That's it, everybody.
That's it. That's all there is. It is just 30 seconds of a very short teaser for a future film. But that's unfortunately that's all there is to it.
And although that's it, there is. When I say there is more, wait, this is the final time on the Marvel Movie Minute that I will be saying, but there's more.
Yeah, that's right. You need to stay subscribed because we're so close to the end. Like we have the next episode is the final episode of season 3 of the Marvel Movie Minute.
Come home with
125.
us.
That's right. Bring it on home. And for one last time, I will tell you, maybe join our Facebook group.
Oh yes,
we have I believe at time of recording, I believe it actually has changed names because I've been saying for years. I've been saying the Marvel Movie Minute and Next Reel Film Podcast Executive Lounge. I believe it is now just the Marvel Movie Minute Lounge. I think they have dropped, like, the Next Reel name has been kicked out. Like, they have consolidated. So the URL actually has not changed, though. So it's still facebook.com/groups/the Next Reel. But now it is the Marvel Movie Minute Podcast Executive Lounge. See, they kicked us to the curb, and then they kicked the rest of the name of that ridiculously long thing down to it. So.
Hey, we're still there, though. Hiding behind a mountain of feathers.
the power of rebranding.
There always will be that.
There always will be that. And of course, I have to tell you, you have to apply for membership to ask it in because there's two particular groups that we're trying to keep out. And that's the bots and the weirdos. Everyone else is welcome in the Marvel Movie Minute Podcast Executive Lounge, newly rebranded.
Let's be honest. There are a few weirdos, and there are two of them, Kyle and Rob.
That's right. Watch how fast we get bounced from the place.
We're done
once we turn in our last recording.
Oh man!
So obviously, you come with us this far. Be with us at the end as we reach the end of Iron Man 2 and the end of our time as hosts of the Marvel Movie Minute. Minute 125. It's going to be a big one. Don't miss it. Enough said.
Bye.